Spirits with spirits. All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another exclusive episode of Spirit of Spirits on Scare Network Television. I'm your host, John Watkins, and your host with the most, Mr. David Lowe. What's going on, Dave?
What's going on, brother?
Oh man, it's been a night.
And mine just said night.
Yeah.
It has been a night, but yeah, this series that we're doing here
Our
is what we're
Lookback
calling a
series.
look back. And this is where we're taking some of our favorite haunted locations that we've talked about or cryptids, and we're going to revisit them and score them, because in the early stages of Spirits of Spirits, we didn't actually score them. We're just like,
we didn't have a scoring system or
we're just
anything
like
like
throwing
that.
spaghetti against the wall and seeing if it stuck. And
yeah.
But then we started, formulating the lowdown process became a thing, and we started putting it together, scoring our locations, and then we were like, you know what? Let's go back and let's score some of our first locations, some of our favorite places.
Yeah. And we've really been wanting to really talk about this location. We've actually been talking about this for a little bit now, about wanting to kind of revisit this place. So of course it's our first spot we're going to revisit, and that is we're going to take a look back at the Riddle House.
Yep.
And I again, this was your very first episode that we did together.
Yes.
As a co-host. I mean, you were always joining in on the show, which was great for me because I was trying to do this shit solo.
Trying to help, bro. I was trying to help.
It was first episode, and we get this phenomenal responses going on the Ghost Tube, and it was an amazing show. But this has always been one of my favorite locations that we've ever did. It's the first episode that we've did together.
Yeah.
It's got that, that what's the word I'm looking for? Nostalgic feel to it there. But and then what happened during the show, but just the Riddle House itself and everything that's happened in that house and everything and what it's gone through as a house itself is
fascinating. It's interesting.
Yeah.
What went on with the house. So the Riddle House was built in West Palm Beach, Florida in 1905.
Yeah. West Palm Beach, Florida. Yep. 1905.
Yeah.
It was actually known as the Gatekeeper's Cottage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the fact that that's what it was called. Yeah, for more than one thing when you think about that.
Yep.
Yeah, it was
So
actually built by, was it Henry Flagler's construction workers?
yeah, from the hotel. The hotel construction workers built that.
Yeah.
And it was the home to the groundskeeper of Woodlawn Cemetery.
Yes. For years.
Now by 1920, well, we'll tell you how in a second. By 1920, the house became privately owned by your pal and mine, Mr. Carl Riddle,
Carl Riddle, which is where
a
the
city
house was.
manager and superintendent of West Palm Beach. He is the namesake of the house.
Yeah.
But something interesting happened in 1995.
Well, 1995, due to the dilapidation of the home,
Mhm.
uh, South Florida Fairgrounds actually has a village that is called Yesteryear Village. So what they decided to do, and it's a historical village. They got a lot of historical buildings there. They decided to move the Riddle House there and actually re condition the house as well at the same time when they moved it over there. They actually did a full renovation of the house when they moved
Mhm.
it over there. I thought that was I love that they did that. I think this house actually has a lot of historical value to it,
Yeah.
considering
Yeah.
everything it was in the early 1900s,
Yeah.
even especially after Carl Riddle left. It became a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I
For
mean, they
sure.
use it as a hub for tuberculosis.
Which and I know that spells haunted like
Yeah,
all over the place because um it's synonymous when you're talking about a sanitarium or something like that. It's
yeah.
always tuberculosis patients, and there's a lot of deaths that occur.
And so the crazy thing about this, so everybody thinks that the hauntings all started in this house
Where?
after the Riddle family left and after it got moved over,
Kitchen.
which is not true. It's actually Carl Riddle moved his family out of the house
Because
it
of the
was
yeah.
because of the paranormal stuff that was happening in the house. In fact, everybody that's gone to that house and lived in that house has actually left due to the paranormal stuff that's happening in the house, which I thought was amazing. In the earliest,
Yeah.
and we didn't talk about this during our show, but the first ghost in this place is not who everybody thought it was, or not who I thought it was, because we didn't even talk about the first ghost when we originally talked about the Carl Riddle house, which I found was amazing. You know who it is, right?
Do tell.
Or did you see that part? Okay. The first ghost was actually a security guard before this even. So this is you had to have. So basically, this place was the groundskeepers for Woodlawn Cemetery. Well, they also had security at night. Security at night was actually there to make sure, because people would bury their jewelry and stuff with their loved ones when they buried them. And so their grave robbing was a big thing back in this time. They actually had a security guard there to actually watch over the cemetery at night to make sure grave robbers weren't coming in. Well, there was a man in there. They called him Buck, or the big man.
Yeah.
And basically there's one or two things. He either got into it with a patron of the cemetery and got into it. He exchanged and was actually shot and killed, or it was over some debt, if I remember right. No, that was Joseph.
That was Joseph.
Yeah, I can't remember. There's a second reason why they don't figure out which one was the right story to tell. That's
Yeah,
the
I
one that's
just have that he was killed in an intense argument.
intense argument. Yeah, but he ended up getting shot and killed. Well, he's actually started being seen walking the ground still and around the house and on the porch where they would sit and eat their meals at night and everything. And that was literally considered the first known ghost at the Riddle House. And this is before Carl even moves in. And then he moves in, he starts seeing this. He actually puts it in his journal.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I did not see that. when we first talked about this 2 years ago.
You know, while the time that Carl Riddle was in this house, there was the employee named Joseph.
Yeah.
And Joseph encountered financial difficulties and was mentally stressed with, all the stuff that was going on around him, and having no option, Joseph committed suicide by hanging himself in the attic of the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
After this incident, Carl began witnessing strange things.
Yeah.
There would be noises of things being dragged on the stairs.
Like, yeah,
Shadow
like
figure of
chains.
a man was seen through the attic windows.
Oh, yeah.
Workers felt unseen men touching them,
Oh, yeah.
but they felt it was like a man's hands.
Yeah, they
touching.
actually removed the beam that he hung himself on after that
Right.
incident.
Terrified by the happening of all the workers and Carl and his family had to leave the place.
Yeah. He's like, "Nope, we can't stay here no more."
Yeah. Many people and businesses tried to occupy the building after that.
Yeah.
But nothing stayed permanently.
No.
Everybody faced similar activities, similar
Experiences.
The last ones to occupy the place was Palm Beach Atlantic College in the 1980s, where they used it as a girls' dormitory.
Yeah.
And then once they cleared out, there was no one to occupy the place, and the house began to deteriorate. This is when, Yesteryear Village came up, and they decided to renovate the place and move it to Yesteryear Village. And Yesteryear Village, it's a 100-acre property, has 30 of these houses.
Yes.
On it. I would love
to visit. Yeah, you can go visit this place. You can go walk it, tour it, everything.
You can walk around all the houses and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's got to be more than one.
Oh, I guarantee that's a fucking hotbed.
That'd be a huge hotspot. That would be like, could do a whole series on
just the Yesteryear
house to house, just Yesteryear Village, going from house to house and doing investigations. We could do an entire season.
I have no doubt about that. No doubt about that. You can literally do one episode per house and be easily.
Yeah. So let's see. What was it? Oh yeah. So
Riddle start renovating.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no. I'm just kind of continuing on with the story of it getting moved over there. Then they start actually renovating the property.
Yeah.
Now the workers would literally leave their tools like in the house, and they would come back and it'd be completely ransacked. Tools would be strewn everywhere, to the point like their tools in the attic would literally be thrown outside onto the ground. Windows that they replaced would just mysteriously just smash. Guys would literally get hit on top of their heads, on their helmets, with hammers from nowhere.
Yeah.
Again, back to the unseen hands pushing, poking, hitting these workers, to the point where they had to stop working.
Yeah.
They put a hold on it for 6 months.
Did you talk about the windows breaking?
Yeah. The windows breaking for unknown reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they literally halt renovations for 6 months. Like, their workers can't take it anymore. Like, dude, there's just so much shit going on. We need a fucking break.
We need to stop. Yeah. Yeah. Also, during the unveiling of the house,
dude,
when
I love this.
They witnessed the presence of a couple dressed in early 20th century clothes.
Yeah.
Later, everyone found their pictures in the photos.
Yeah, so basically what's happening is they're having this big hoorah for the unveiling of the Riddle House because the renovations were all done.
Yeah.
Church.
And there's this couple walking around, and everybody's like, "Oh, great! They got these actors for period clothing, and they're talking to them and everything."
Yeah.
And then they do the unveiling, and there's this picture of the Riddle House, the original Riddle House when it was built, with the picture of everybody in front of it.
Yeah.
This actual picture is hanging in the Riddle House today. So there's people, they're walking through the Riddle House. Here's this picture hanging. It's yeah, just like that, but there's a bunch of people in front of it.
Yeah.
And they're walking through the front door and going through the, the living room area, and they see this picture, and they see the two people in that picture.
Yeah.
That was literally walking around. And they're like, "No, we didn't hire no actors. No, we didn't do that."
Yeah.
I don't know. And like those two people right there were literally walking around outside. Like, dude, that picture's from fucking 1905 when it got built. And like, can we look upstairs now? Imagine that happening though. Imagine you're sitting there, you're conversating with people, you're talking about the unveiling of the house. And they, of course, these two people know more about the house than you do. So they're going off on a tangent about the house. And then you walk in and you see him in a picture from 1905. And you're like, wait, what? No, what? Did I just talk to a ghost? I just talked to a ghost. That's crazy. To think that they're just talking to some period actors dressed up for the event.
So that's like a major apparition right there, because we've talked about that. When an apparition is believed to be solid and you can interact with them, not only is that intelligent, but that is a solid entity.
Like the restaurant where they were actually giving this person their orders.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. They had a visitor struck in the head by a piece of wood from out of nowhere. They turned, there was no one there, nothing. A maintenance worker for the house actually was attacked and refused to go back to the house. He's like, nope. I will work in every house on the property, but that one, that one don't like me.
So yeah, it was not uncommon for one to witness apparitions out of the corner of their eye or in the shadows of the home. When darkness fell on the home each night, it seemed to take on a life of its own.
Monster.
Okay. Many would hear what appeared to be distant conversations and strange noises that were very frightening and completely unexplained. Examples include the sound of chains moving up and down the stairs, knocks, other noises of the same caliber. Flashlight. Let's talk about how Carl Riddle lost many of his employees. They were like, nope, we're out. Not dealing with that.
Hanged.
Is that Joseph?
Joseph hanged himself. Yeah. Now I have there were two documented paranormal groups, but this has been investigated like a whole bunch of times. So one investigation, they heard doors slamming, footsteps, bells ringing, cold spots, an EVP of a child's voice in the toilet, and also a physical, like a bird cage was knocked over.
Oh, damn.
Behind one of the investigators.
Oh, shit.
Another group had strong EMF readings all the way through the house and hearing footsteps all over. So, okay. So Riddle House remains a highly active paranormal location with residual hauntings and intelligent ghost activity. There is definitely a dark, malevolent spirit that does not like men. And
that's interesting right there.
Very unhappy with the move to Yesteryear Village.
I'm trying to figure out because
Now, psychic mediums believe that this could be Joseph. Well, why would Joseph be angry toward men or even be upset with the move? I don't know.
Angel.
But we talk about if we see shadow figures, that's not human, or at least not human anymore.
Apparition of an angry, aggressive woman in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Smashes things, slaps men. The kitchen is actually attacked a young boy. The kitchen is actually considered to be so haunted that it's actually closed off to the public. "1920s music heard playing in the attic." All of a sudden, I just keep.
Carl Riddle himself in his journal reported feeling despair.
Yeah.
And fear, but feeling despair from living in the house.
Who is she?
Well, imagine, after Joseph hung himself, I can see how that could linger. Because, to hang yourself, you have to feel, that's a huge feeling. Like there's no end in sight. It's never going to be good. That's despair. It's that dread, I can understand how that would linger on after Joseph hung himself. I can actually understand how that filled the house after he hung himself. Like an explosion of emotion.
Wow.
Oh, Dave found something. He said, "Wow."
This goes back to when the reason why they built it. Do you know what the reason why they built this as the gatekeeper's cottage?
I thought it was just to watch the cemetery.
Well, yeah, because crimes were occurring in the cemetery.
Yeah, they're digging up bodies everywhere.
They were digging up bodies. They were digging up bodies and killing people and burying them with other people.
Yeah.
In the cemetery.
Oh, they're
digging them up and then trying to get their possessions and things like that. So stealing from them and grave robbing and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why. So there was some stuff. They were disturbing the graves. They were disturbing the graves of these people. So that I think that itself would cause its own disturbance.
Yeah. That's what the other one was. That Buck actually caught grave robbers and they ended up killing them.
Right.
He was he was the first death in the house.
Why are you here?
We're talking about the Riddle House. Why are you here? If you say because we're talking about the Riddle House, I'm gonna laugh. There's a lot of activity in this place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a whole ghost I didn't even know about until I did research again.
Yeah, I know. We also talked about ghosts from the other houses in Yesteryear Village.
Yeah.
Traveling to and from the Riddle House. Like there's some intermingling.
That was the first time we talked about ghosts traveling from house to house.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at my old notes from 2 years ago.
Hidden. 39.
39. What was hidden?
I know, right?
Say bodies.
Say bodies. Say people.
People. A spot so haunted. Why would there? Okay, this is my thing though. The angry woman in the kitchen. If it is an actual angry woman, is that spirit a byproduct of the grave robbing from when that house was on the
Lewis.
cemetery?
Or is that from one of the other houses in Yesteryear Village? Is that a recent? That's not something that I heard reported until the house was
Kayla.
moved, right?
This is from my notes from 2 years ago. This
Yeah.
is after they moved it to yesteryear. Is
Yeah.
when that started happening.
Yeah. So I don't think it would be a product of the grave robbing.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so either. But what, a ghost is walking around through yesteryear and be like, I hate this kitchen and they just remodeled this one. I think I'll stay here.
Yeah. Maybe that ghost was like,
Did you see
lost?
that oven? Why wouldn't I come here?
This thing's been remodeled. I want this place.
It's got a dishwasher.
Yeah. So, yeah. Witnesses have spotted a hanging torso in the attic window, but later learned that no such mannequin exists in the attic.
Yeah.
Security personnel have seen lights going on and off in the building, and many avoid the house altogether.
Yeah, they're like the security's like,
the maintenance guy's like, I ain't going in the house, and the security's like, ain't going in the house.
But the lights are going on and off. Yep, and they're going to continue to do so. I don't pay the power bill. I'm not worried about it. What would you? I mean, imagine being a security guard and you're doing your round, and you look up and the lights are kicking on and off. Every time the light kicks on, you see in the attic this thing hanging.
Torso, yeah, just hanging torso, like something out of 13 Ghosts.
Well, and I can see why they say torso, because probably the angle of the window looking up, it's probably cutting off the head and of course the legs. And so it just looks like this torso hanging in midair, where it's really probably
probably just a residual
of Joseph hanging there. Yeah. But imagine seeing that. And the first time you see it, you have to go in. You have to, because your first thought is, oh shit, someone's hanging themselves in the damn Riddle House. And you call it in, and the cops come, and you run upstairs, and there's fucking nothing there.
Disrespectful.
Right?
And now imagine being the new guy and being told, listen, you're going to be doing your rounds. You're going to see this.
Don't go in the house. There's nobody there. Trust us.
Don't call the cops. Yes, we know the lights are going on and off. No, don't go inside the house. No, there's nobody in there. Quit calling me. It's 3:00 in the morning.
Iron.
Yeah, this is a great location.
Or imagine being the new guy and the veterans don't tell you because, well, now it's initiation time.
Yeah. Oh, hazing.
I was on the phone 911. They said, fuck no, we ain't coming out there.
Fuck you, Ezekiel.
Fuck you, Tony. Yeah, I love this house. I love the fact on doing the research, I found more on the house.
Yeah.
Like the fact of what it was, overflow hub for tuberculosis, a hospital at some given time. I want to say a jailer, a shop.
They kind of used it as a funeral home too.
Yeah, funeral home.
At the cemetery.
Yeah.
And then like many companies owned it. I had information that the The Flagler Art Center bought it for a little while in like the early 70s. Cloud Lake Incorporated owned it in 1951. Yeah, and then the college in the 80s.
Yeah, spirits.
It was artist Marianne Hayes acquired the house at an auction for $21,000 and converted it to the art school, the Flagler Art Center.
Yeah.
Hello.
So that was in 1972.
Peter.
Mine said hello. You said Peter.
And it was actually scheduled for demolition due to the expansion of the college. But that's when they were like, no, we're going to move it. And the nephew, John Riddle, was the one that actually got 60 volunteers and put it together and moved the house.
Yeah. And now it's a historical landmark on yesteryear inside the yesteryear village.
Jesus, it's awesome.
Oh yeah, I mean it's what almost 120 years old. In 2 years, it'll hit 120 years old. It's gone through a lot. Did you see some of the pictures of the dilapidation of inside the house before it got moved?
No, it was built in 1905.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. I was like, wait, it's 2023.
Press.
In 2 years, yeah, and 120 years old in 2 years.
That's 118 years old right now.
Oh,
that's a long-standing building, and it's gone through some stuff itself, not just paranormally, but what they did. I mean, they did a remarkable job renovating the place, though.
Yeah,
I mean, that's awesome. That's at yesteryear village.
Yeah.
But
and I'm sorry, the fairgrounds is 100 acres, but the yesteryear village is 5 acres, but still 30 buildings are in there.
Yeah, I mean, they kept it very period inside, even on the renovation.
Yeah, they were either moved, the buildings were either moved intact or from their original historic sites or reconstructed from blueprints.
Yeah. And here's the picture of what it looked like before they moved it.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing was just tore up. And then they turned it into this. Is phenomenal. Gotta love good craftsmanship.
Yeah.
And I know you shared this picture, but there's the front entrance with the plaque outside and everything, kind of giving the history of it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that famous attic window.
Yep. Too bad there's not a torso in it.
I know, right? I was looking for images.
Little side view of it, because you can see that ramp thing on the left.
Yeah.
And for handicap access to get in there.
Yep.
But yeah, it's so funny how it doesn't really change much. So this is a picture from 1920.
Yeah. All they did on the left-hand side there is add a ramp to get onto the porch.
Yeah. And I mean, the attic window looks different, but still.
Yeah, the windows are definitely different.
Yeah, the windows have the shutters.
Yep.
These don't have the shutters.
Brittany.
Without the shutters. Different siding on. Looks like vinyl siding, actually, for some reason.
Yeah.
Instead of the wood slat.
Looks right. The chimney. It's interesting. I like that house. That's
a house I would own. I mean, that's a good looking house.
Yeah.
Decent size. I mean,
that looks more like my house.
Keep in mind, I don't have a chimney. No, this is a phenomenal location.
Yeah.
And to have what happened when we did the first episode and finding out everything else that's happened during this episode, it's
Thomas.
Okay, so we've got all that. Let's talk about our experiences during the first episode.
Why am I here?
Yeah, so it was kind of funny.
That's got to be considered in our score, right?
Yeah, I'd have to consider it in the score. It's kind of funny because we're sitting there, we're doing the show, and I think the first place we're doing is Haunted Mansion, if I
Yeah.
remember right.
Yeah.
So we're doing that, and we weren't really getting a lot of names coming through the ghost tube.
No.
Right.
We still don't necessarily get a lot of names that come through the ghost tube, although I've heard like 2 since we started this show, but compared to all the other words that we get coming through the ghost tube.
Yeah.
And also the word Carl comes up.
But the word Carl came up before we even started.
Thomas.
Yo, that's right. We weren't even started.
We weren't even started yet. We were just getting like everything hooked up and we're getting ready to go.
Yeah, we're just in our
we're in our green room
basically and talking, and then all of a sudden Carl comes up, and it's Carl with the C.
Yeah.
Carl Riddle, he spells his name with a K. So it doesn't even hit my mind. And we're just like, it'd be funny. Well, actually, Dave says it'd be funny if there was a Carl in one of these locations. And I say, I don't think there is. Based off the research, I don't remember a Carl. We're only talking about the Riddle House, but
yeah. And it was so funny, because I was like, okay, and I had the stuff on the, but this was my first episode, so I was just like, I was lost. I had stuff I wrote down, but I didn't remember any of it.
Be quiet.
Shit, I'm telling you to be quiet. I was like, yeah, wouldn't it be funny if there was a Carl in one of the other locations? Because Carl was coming in, we were getting intelligent responses from him with the first location.
Yeah.
We were doing Haunted Mansion, and then we got to talking about the Riddle House, and like right at the beginning, I was like, wait.
I was like, oh shit.
I was like, Carl Riddle. We were talking about Carl Riddle, and we've been getting Carl all night. And I got to tell you, before we started just now,
I got Carl
twice on mine.
Twice. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now.
And I've never gotten Carl on mine, on my audio.
Because how late we talked about doing this show tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I did the research for Carl, the Riddle House today. And I was listening to the SB7 while I was doing. I was waiting to talk about this during the actual show because I thought it was phenomenal. So I'm listening to SB7 and Carl comes through. That's all I heard. Carl, male voice. I went, interesting. I said, all right, Carl. Well, if you're here,
can you hear me?
What's going on in the Riddle House? He says, it's on the stairs. And I went, no. And no shit. I'm sitting there reading, and like 3 paragraphs later, chains moving up and down the stairs and across the attic floor. And I went, I gotta tell Dave, but I'm gonna wait for the show to tell Dave.
I'm gonna surprise Dave.
Yeah, am I dead?
And you get the Carl Riddle.
And I get Carl
twice before we do the show.
And when during our live stream,
which we did a live stream before we did the show tonight.
Yeah. You were like, Carl, if you're here,
yeah, come on, join us.
What is this?
And you turned on your REM pod.
Yeah.
And it drained the battery in your REM pod.
Dude, it went off crazy too. We got it. So during the show, it kept hitting back here, but it was kind of blocked by the mic, so it was sitting like right here, so you couldn't see it.
Stop
so I was
recording.
like, okay, I'm gonna move it up here so where everybody can see it. And nobody can see it, I'm not touching nothing like that.
Yep.
During the break, I'm pretty sure you can listen to our break when I come back, and I'm waiting for Dave to come back. I say, hey, Carl, if you want to show up, come on, show up. Probably going to talk to you about tonight, blah, blah, blah. And no, sure shit. The fucking REM pod starts going. I'm telling you, there's something with the Riddle House that Carl just loves talking to us, I think. I think, like, these guys are funny, but they're serious.
Yeah.
They're my kinds of people.
Farther.
Or it could be farther
or it
from
could
that.
be farther, or it could be that we're farther away than,
Yeah.
because I'm in California, you're in Colorado, and that thing's in Florida.
Yeah.
But we're still, even still, we were like, we're in the show and we're like, wait, Carl was like, Carl, if that's you, let us know you're here.
Yeah, he's all, let us know you're here.
And then like 30 seconds later, the ghost tube says, here, present. Hi ho, I'm in the moment. And I was like, dude, that was awesome. And that was our first episode together. And that's when I knew that we had something.
Yeah, that was just freaking amazing. That was amazing. Yeah.
So,
yeah, I say episode 9 is a very iconic episode for us.
Yeah.
Big place in the spiritual spirit's heart.
Now you can go to our Facebook page and watch that episode, but we will have that original footage from the Riddle House coming up in our archive section. That'll be later on this year. Will be put in there. So it will show up on Scare Network, and you'll be actually able to see that segment where we talked about the Riddle House. And
a segment of the episode. Dave, the technical director here, does an awesome job with that. And but one of another big reasons why we're doing the look back again, as Dave was talking about at the beginning, is because these are either they're weird scoring because we weren't even figuring out how to score these places yet.
Yeah, because we were like 1 to 10.
We weren't even thinking about scoring yet. Like on the Riddle House, we were just we weren't thinking about scoring them and kind of. And Dave's been scoring movies for so long. It was kind of funny because he's like, we were scoring, but he's like, you know what? What if we actually broke it down like I do the lowdown? And I was like, that is a phenomenal idea. And I love the lowdown method. I'm telling you, if you want some good freaking info on movies and get a non-biased opinion about a movie, and see if you want to go check out the 4K lowdown. That he's better than IMDb. But we want to score the Riddle House, and
Greetings.
And if you're hello to you too. Very polite.
Greetings.
Again, here, present and accounted for. Salutations. But you're I don't want to say the scoring will be biased for this. I don't think, but I think you're gonna feel how we feel on the scoring for this. I think
I still want to try to be objective, but there's some sentimental aspects of this, some nostalgia for us. It's like how we would score, Rocky IV versus versus maybe Creed 3. We'd be like, okay, Creed 3 was good, but Rocky IV is the shit. And it might not even be a good movie, but it's got the nostalgia of being like that was in the 80s. We kind of grew up watching it. And so this is going to be the Rocky IV of our locations. But so like I said, in the lowdown method, we talk about the types of hauntings with the first 5 categories. And the first thing is residual. So for residual haunts, like, I'm going to say that the torso hanging in the attic, I think that's residual. Yeah. I think the chains on the stairs,
I think that's residual.
I think that's residual.
I think Buck the ghost
footsteps.
is residual.
I think Buck the ghost is residual.
Blacksmith.
I don't think there's a blacksmith. But yeah, a lot of the noises and things like that, I think a lot of that is residual.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I think the 1920s music playing is residual.
yes.
Let's see, what else can I say residual wise?
But yeah, it's
Closet.
Probably usually how you get here. I think that's kind of it for the residual.
I think that's kind of it. So I think the residual's good here.
Yeah, I think that's really
Follow
good
me.
residual variety of residual happening.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different residual aspects of this place.
Yeah, you got sights, sounds,
different figures, ghosts, I should say.
different apparitional stuff with Buck and Joseph and things like that.
Yeah, footsteps.
Kyle.
I think very possibly
and I guess Kyle.
residual. Yeah.
So
that's some pretty good. That's a lot of residual and a lot of variety of residual. That's what you're looking for right there.
It's good.
I mean, we talk about variety a lot.
Yeah, it's good. I like the variety. I like the frequency. I like the fact that, maintenance workers and, most of that is intelligent though, with the maintenance workers and the people being afraid to go in.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of in the 7-8 range.
I was thinking 8 is kind of where I was sitting with the residual.
Yeah, I'm down for an 8.
Variety and the fact that it's been going on since 1920 something. I like it. I like an 8. You down with an 8?
I'm down with an 8.
Down with an 8.
Intelligent, I think is good here too.
Intelligent is great here.
Intelligent is hot. I guess it's hot. Intelligent is hot here. It's because again, you got Joseph. I think Joseph is an intelligent hunt as well. You got the woman in the kitchen.
What date
the
is
woman
it?
in the kitchen.
I think that's hot.
Shadow figures are definitely an intelligent portion of hot.
Yeah.
I don't know what the unseen hands are, but being pushed by unseen hands, I can't. I don't know where.
I'm kind of leaning at poltergeist for that, but I do think we should give something. I can't.
That's definitely a very intelligent reaction. I think.
Right.
Yeah. So again, I'm kind of like 7 or 8 range.
Yeah, I was putting it right there. Is residual higher than intelligent? I think that's what I'm struggling with. Is residual?
Yeah, me too. Because
higher.
I'm thinking. I think the intelligent is. I think the intelligent is more dangerous, but I don't think it's more diverse. Just by a hair, though. So I think I'm going to go 7.
I think I'm going to say 8.
Okay, so we'll do 7.
Based off the experience of Carl coming through the first time we talked about this.
Yeah, shit. Okay, yeah, I'm at an 8. You talked me out of it. Talked me into it.
I told you, and this is what I'm talking about. You're gonna see some of the scoring reflect on the past episode.
The stuff that we got in the first thing has got to come into play here. We've got to talk. We got to talk about that.
Definitely wasn't residual.
No, it wasn't residual, and it was definitely intelligent, and it's definitely audio. So we're gonna have to consider that too. But we've done it before. We've had
dangerous.
Okay, we're gonna get to the danger level in a minute. But we've done it before because we've actually gotten intelligent responses with the Catch Castle. for
Gosh,
Elizabeth Guthrie. We were getting intelligent responses with that. So that had to raise the score. It still wasn't good.
Yeah.
Still wasn't very good, but I was like, that was impressive to me.
Yeah.
Because that's the one where we got intelligent responses, not the other castles that we talked about last week.
Gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
All right. So the poltergeist activity here is, I think, it's a little bit off the hook.
I think it's fucking phenomenal because there's like doors slamming.
Getting people hitting the head with wood objects.
People hitting the head. There's the woman that the private door that got hit with the wood.
You're getting people hitting the hammer.
Yeah, tools getting like thrown about.
Tools getting thrown out of the attic. Windows breaking.
Windows being broken.
Objects themselves moving. Their tools scattered in freaking mayhem. Or what's the word I used?
Yeah.
Wasn't mayhem.
The investigation. The bird cage got thrown down.
Bird cage gets thrown down. It is not a 10.
No.
I'll say it's not a 10. Because nobody was fighting for their life here from an unseen.
No. But I think I'm 8 or 9.
I'm at a 9.
I'm at a 9.
Disrespectful.
I think it's disrespectful. I don't think so. I think that's very
I think it wants it to be a 10.
I think it does too.
When you throw someone across the house,
when you pin someone, or when Julie pins someone against the wall, when we get someone like holding them there, making them fighting for their life, that's a 10. Or you can move a car.
Yeah. Or crash a plane.
Crash a plane. Then you're talking. Then now we're okay. We got lights turning on and off.
Yeah.
As well. Does that change the score?
No, I can't. There is a bar for 10 now, Dave.
There's a bar for 10. I agree. Okay, non-human. Now there are shadow figures. There's one definite malevolent dark spirit.
Yep.
That we have to consider. I don't think that's Joseph.
I don't think it is either.
Because that only started with the move.
Yes. Joseph's been there since it was in Palm Beach.
Do you think the angry lady is just an intelligent, or do you think that's non-human as well?
This is what I was going to bring up at this point too, is definitely intelligent. I'm not sure if the angry lady is actual angry lady, and yours just said attic. It's funny. You're getting more than I am right now.
Right?
Carl wanted to come talk to you.
Carl wants to be on my, because I was here like a little bit earlier before the show started. You had to go off for a second before we started. So I was on, and then Carl started showing up before you came back. So I think Carl's here talking to me.
I have this strange feeling that this apparition, this angry woman, angry, aggressive woman, is not an angry, aggressive woman at all.
No.
I have this feeling.
I'm leaning toward demonic on this.
Yeah. It's
and I think that it
Flames.
didn't. I don't think it came here with the house. What did you say? Flames?
Yeah.
I don't think it came with the house. I think it happened after the move. And I think the other malevolent spirit that's in the attic and stuff, I think that, I don't know if that's demonic. I know it's non-human.
Yeah.
If it is Joseph, it's Joseph that's actually devolved into a non-human entity.
Into a non-human.
Medicine.
Maybe he needs medicine. But I don't think it's Joseph. I think it's separate. I think it's a separate entity. And again, I think it's either from one of the other houses, or it was there to begin with.
I have a feeling it might have been there to begin with, and with the renovation, they opened up something that was keeping it held in.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay,
but the non-human factor here,
I still don't think it's very high because we've got the 2.
No, I was thinking 6, 7,
Yeah.
right there.
I think I'm at a 6.
I'm picking up what you're putting down there. I like the 6.
Yeah. And that's only because I can't give full marks to the lady because I'm not so sure that's non-human. If it's an actual lady, it's an intelligent, just a nasty bitch. If it's faking it, if it's pretending to be an angry woman, then yes, I absolutely believe it's non-human. But I would need to see it for myself.
And what if the shadow figure that they're seeing is what drove Joseph to actually hang himself, like pushed him over that edge?
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said about shadow figures and non-human entities doing stuff like that.
Okay. So let's talk about the history of the location.
I love the history of the Riddle House.
The history of the Riddle House is good. I mean, 1905, so it doesn't go back too far, but it's still
almost 120 years.
And
the fact that it got moved,
considering what it's been,
dude,
it's changed hands like a whole bunch of different times. And now being in Yesteryear Village, it was moved.
Yeah.
And it's continuing to have activity, even gotten worse.
Yeah. Got worse.
It's gotten worse. I think the history is good. I'm not great. And I'm looking at some of the other locations that we have here.
Am I dead?
I'm going to say, yeah, I think you're dead.
Yeah.
I think I'm 7 or 8 here.
I was thinking it was a solid 8. That's where I was sitting. I know there's been better historical places that we talked about. We've had our 9s, we've had our 10s on history.
Yeah.
I think this is that next step below.
Yeah. So we did the Joshua Ward House, Crumlin Road, Gowl, Waverly Hills, and Suvarnabhumi Airport.
Suvarnabhumi Airport. Yeah.
Also, all 8s. Do you think it's worthy of that?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's worthy of that 8. With all the different things it was, it's also part of the tuberculosis pandemic. It has its history there. Being a college, being an art museum. I mean, that's a lot of history going into that place. Even though nobody was able to stay there because, well, the paranormal activity was too crazy for them. I even like that portion of the history.
I like that portion of history too. So I mean, nobody really had it for very long. Even the woman who bought it and made it into an art school, she only had it for 8 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Carl Riddle only had it for 3 years.
Yeah.
Before he left.
He was like, yeah, that's enough.
Yeah. I'm actually, and because it didn't, I don't think it goes back far enough for me. I'm going to go 7. So we'll be 7.5 for the history. I don't think it's worthy of an 8.
Cold.
Okay.
I like it, but yeah, I don't think it's quite worthy of an 8, but 7.5 I'm happy with. Okay. So now we're talking about
manifestations.
The last 5 is like things that have been reported.
Yeah, the guts of
the
everything.
type of evidence recorded, things like that. And the first thing is manifestations. This is like orbs, apparitions, figures,
cold spots.
Cold spots have a thing. And that also goes in the feels.
It goes in the feels, yeah.
But
anything that manifests,
and we're looking at anything that manifests, that appears. So we definitely have the torso in the window. Yep. We definitely have the woman. There's the angry woman in the kitchen. We have the shadow figure.
Right.
Yeah.
We have the and I'm going to say that the stuff that if objects are disappearing and reappearing, that's a manifestation.
Yeah, I'm going to say Buck. Buck's the big man, the security guard.
Buck is an apparition. It appears. There was.
Do you consider the unseen hands a part of a manifestation? Because they have to manifest to push you that force, right? Or would
I
you
don't know.
still put that?
Manifestation is basically sight, and since it's an unseen hand,
Okay, no, I'm picking up what
I think that'll be closer to feels. That'll be more feels than
okay.
anything else. Gosh, there was something else that I had in my head. But I can't remember what it was. Oh, the couple in 21st century garb. When they opened that was the big one that I was thinking of. The
manifestations. It's a 10. It's a 10.
Because that one, like, they were there, they were answering questions, they were taking them on the tour, they were doing the stuff, and then they saw the picture, and it was that couple, and they turned for them, and they were gone. There was nothing.
And they were like, no, we didn't hire no period actors for this shit.
I absolutely loved that. I mean, we've talked about that. If it
Annoying.
Okay.
Full body apparition to the point where you believe they're actually there with you.
That's like, Cow Lock, Leap Castle, Joshua Ward House, Cumchod Forest.
What is your name?
Chapel Burial Ground, Old Salem Jail, things like that. Those are all 10s. I think this is a 10.
This is a 10. Yeah, this is a 10.
That couple alone
Watching
would make it a 10.
Would make it a 10. I think that's awesome. Audio's good.
Audio's good. You got the music playing.
Solid location all around,
EVPs.
EVPs.
A lot of voice phenomena.
The child's voice recorded. The chains on the stairs.
The footsteps.
The doors slamming.
Nobody hears the windows breaking.
Knocks. And they say other noises.
Yeah.
So there's other stuff.
There's a lot of audio here.
There's some good audio here.
And you have audio that breaks the veil. You have audio that gets picked up by EVP. It's everywhere. Strong audio. I would put the audio. No, I was gonna put the audio right there with Poltergeist Activity at a 9.
I think, I was like 8 or 9. I'm down for a 9, bro. Okay. Feels.
So feels is everything feeling wise. It's physical,
it's emotional, it's physical, it smells,
things
everything like that.
All five senses. All 5 senses.
Yeah, except for sight. Manifestations is strictly for sight. And audio is strictly for hearing. All the other senses fall under feels. So
touch and smell and taste.
Touch, smell, and taste. If taste. I tasted
we have that one that tasted.
We have one that tasted. People get this taste in their mouth. I have had that. Okay. So there.
I didn't see a cat.
I don't remember any smells.
Sorry.
I don't remember any smells.
No smells. No smells. We definitely had a lot of physical contact.
So that's automatically a 5.
That's
a big old 5. Pushing, touching, stuff like that. The feeling
people being attacked with wood. What's that?
That Carl Riddle had, the feeling of despair that Carl had.
Despair.
I gotta give that a point. The fact that the maintenance workers and the security won't go in the building, they're afraid. That's a fear. That's a feeling.
Uh,
You said something about how people feel with the angry woman in the kitchen. There was like a feel attached to that, wasn't there? Or am I wrong?
Married.
Like people in the kitchen feel like this, feel like they're um
well, they're slapping the men, smashing
yeah,
things,
there's something
right?
that really doesn't like men here.
Yeah. Young boy attacked. So haunted is now closed off.
Yeah, they actually closed off the kitchen.
Yeah. And that's I would put a bump on the fear on that one.
Yeah.
uh again, slapping, yeah, slapping people there too, getting people hit
Yeah.
with wood, getting
Okay.
people hit with hammers.
And what about that they stopped the construction for 6
Stopped
months?
the construction for 6 months because the workers were too shaken to continue working.
That sounds like feels to me. Oh,
Exact
not to mention
words.
the tools hitting them and wood
Yeah.
hitting people. That's all contact. That's shit.
The fact that no one can live in this place or have a business in this place for too long because they can't handle all the paranormal activity.
Yeah. That's crazy. And I thought a lot of that was that it's built by the cemetery. I think the cemetery disturbing that started this whole thing.
I kind of with you there.
And then
I This is a feels place. Like I say, when I say a lot of physical contact, that's not just a 5. There's a
no,
lot
it's a
of
lot
physical
of physical contact
I
and
would
different
start
types too.
at probably like a
Unseen
7
hands.
or
God, I gotta say 10 here.
Agreed.
Thank you.
uh, yeah. I'm right there with you. I was just trying to talk you up to it.
I was I was trying to talk myself out of a 10.
I was trying to talk you up to it
And then I was
because
like,
that's
as we
where
were
I was
talking
at.
about it, I'm like, this has to be a 10.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking some of our other 10s. We don't have a lot of 10s. Well, aside from the really bad ones, but like um Hellfire Club, the Mason House, Kilmainham Gal, and then of course our high ones, Proveglia Island, the Alaskan, Lizzie Borden, those guys, Penhurst, those are all 10s.
Yeah,
I think this falls right into that.
absolutely.
Leave me alone.
Sorry. I will after this show. Honest. Okay, objects. Objects are good here too.
Lights
This is
flickering
a
on and
great
off.
diverse place because you got
Yeah,
doors slamming, you got
lights
lights
flickering
going on
on
and
and
off,
off. Yeah, windows breaking,
windows breaking, tools
tools
moving,
being thrown everywhere,
being
being
thrown, hitting
wood hitting
people,
you.
wood hitting people, coming out of nowhere.
Yeah. Uh, there's something else. Yeah, moving objects, objects that disappear and reappear. Ransacked. That's the word I was looking for.
Ransacked. The tools being ransacked.
Yeah.
When returning to work in the mornings, carpenters would find their tools thrown from the attic
Yeah.
on the ground below.
Yeah.
Town.
Third floor windows would be found broken.
Yeah. But it's throwing the fucking tools through them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Over here.
A maintenance worker was attacked while cleaning the building.
Yeah. Didn't even talk about that one. He refused to ever go back.
Yeah. Lights going on and off. Yeah. I think it's solid. I'm not at a 10 on this,
I'm not a 10. I'm not a 10.
but I think it's a solid 8.
I was sitting there thinking solid 8, or is it a 9?
Or is it a 9?
And I don't want to say maybe a 9, or is it a 9?
Is it a 9?
Because there's a lot going on.
Yeah, I'm like the wood and the tools and the doors and the
It's a huge variety of things. Hell, I'd even go so far out to say again, and we didn't even talk about this part on the fields with Carl Riddle coming through on our first episode. And we didn't add that into the audio either. But we can actually add that into the objects of it coming through and talking through on our devices.
Okay. I'll put it at a 9. I mean, we were at a 9 for the audio. I was considering our Ovilus and stuff too. I didn't.
I wasn't considering that. I was considering just everything I had here on the paper. I wasn't
Angela.
even thinking about.
Okay. Danger level.
This place is dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, if security guards and maintenance workers won't go in, they closed off the kitchen because it was too dangerous. You got at least 2 dark malevolent spirits that will attack you.
Yes.
People get hit with tools and wood. And I definitely think, and you've got physical contact, so that's automatically a 5.
The only thing is not happening here is they're not killing anybody. That's it.
No.
They're causing freak accidents. They're hitting people with objects. They're attacking maintenance workers when they go inside the house. They're this place I feel is dangerous. I think the malevolent spirits that are in there is plural is something to worry about. Is this Penhurst dangerous?
No.
Is it Waverly dangerous? Is it Trans Allegheny dangerous? Is it
Hold?
Hold. That was exactly what I said. Hold on, and it just said hold before I had a chance to say it. Huh.
Is it the
It's
military?
It is not Leavenworth dangerous.
I would say, is it Leavenworth dangerous? Is it?
I don't know. Waverly.
Actually, I think Waverly didn't get a 10, huh?
No, Waverly got an 8.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in that ballpark.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about Waverly now, and I'm like, I think I'm there with Waverly. I think I'm right there.
That's like, tuberculosis and Smith Anderson Cemetery was an 8.
Yeah.
Lyceum Hall.
I liked Lyceum Hall.
Listen,
Linda. The Anderson Cutler Majestic Theater was an 8.
That was a good one too.
Yeah, Hellfire Club was a 9.
Well, there's a reason for that though.
There's a reason for that.
Devil shot out the freaking chimney or
Yeah,
the roof.
I think an 8 is good here. I think that's a
good solid score for it.
That's a good solid score. Shit, bro.
Where does that put us?
That puts it at an 85.
80.
answer.
Wow.
Huh?
Wow. Closer, Dave. We said closer. Wow.
Mine said Anna. I was like, what?
Maybe Anna's closer.
So legit, it's 84.5, but it rounds up.
Yeah. But at 85, that's
good.
That's a good score. That's a really good score. I'm so glad we scored this one.
Yeah, that ties it with Proveglia Island and the Alaskan Hotel and Bar.
That makes perfect sense. I think it ranks up there with those two. That Alaskan was a beast.
Alaskan was awesome.
Perfecto Island was a beast.
Yeah. That was the only beast in Italy. That was the
Yeah.
Now those are legit 85s though. So if we go, so it's actually 84 and a half. So that would put
Yeah.
it below those two, but because we rounded up, it
Yeah.
ties. But I'm looking at the scores, and there's no 0.5s on those other two. So
Okay.
it does make it higher. It puts
They
it
didn't like the history.
yeah. It does put it does put a 0.5 or 1 point higher than Waverly Hills and Huska
Wow.
County.
Wow. I love Waverly. I really loved Huska talking about that last week. So
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah. Well, folks, there you have it. That was a look back at the Riddle House. Again, this was from episode 9 of season 1, the iconic first episode of me and Dave.
Of the host with the most.
He likes it. I gave him that.
I do like that.
I said, you are no longer the co-host. You are the host with the most.
I like it.
I do too. Man, great score. I love this was a great look back to an old haunt that we've been talking about since day one with you. I'm glad we're able to do this exclusively for Scare Network.
Yeah.
And don't forget, guys, we do a live every Sunday night. You can catch us
Monster
at Spirits with Spirits. Or you can even look up Spirits with John and Dave, whatever is easier for you. But our tag is Spirits with Spirits on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about a multitude of different things. Again, we're doing cryptids and things like that this year as our week off from locations. We talk aliens. We talk everything paranormal. So watch the lives there. If you're, again, as Dave was pointing out, will be the archive, the segment of the first show will be in our archives on Scare Network coming out there as well. Yeah. But man, great
closet.
Were you shocked at the score of this place?
You know, if you were to ask me this question in season 1, I would have been shocked. But because of all, we've talked about it and we've gone back and it was like, no, I'm not surprised. Thanks for tightening that up for me. I'm not surprised by the score now, but before I didn't even know about the place.
Yeah.
Or we did if we'd have scored it there, I would have been like, wow. I don't know if it had got an 85 back then.
Yeah.
Because there were a couple things that we added that we didn't have the first time.
Yeah.
So, but I still think it would have been high 70s, probably low 80s. I don't think it would have been much different. But
yeah, you love this place. What we talked about, you like the Riddle House. What's the Riddle House like? You about to find out.
Yeah, I know anything about the Riddle House, but as we were talking about, I was like, shit, I love this place.
Yeah.
And I'm very interested in Yesteryear Village. I would love to just go in there and just look at all the places. They do ghost tours. People in period clothing take you on ghost tours to all the houses. So, or you could just pay admission and just go right into the village and walk around, do what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be so down to go there and do an investigation.
Yeah, fuck Disney World. Let's go to the Yesteryear.
Let's go to Yesteryear Village. To hell with Disney World. You guys can go to Epcot. We're gonna go to Yesteryear Village.
We're gonna go Yesteryear.
We're gonna go to Little House. That's our roller coaster.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to get off of this. Again, keep a lookout for more lookbacks, and we will see you again. Dave,
See
why
you
don't
next
hit
time.
the outro?
Outro is going. Bye, everybody.
Spirits.